You're standing at the top of your own cellar stairs, and you're about to learn a natural humidity control method your great-grandparents used to keep a basement bone dry without a single electric machine. It's the back end of August, and the air down there is the kind of wet that you can feel on the back of your neck before you even take the first step. You go down anyway. You always do. And the smell hits you halfway. That thick, sweet, rotten paper smell that means something down there is giving up. You find it. The cardboard box in the corner has gone soft and dark along the bottom. The label on your canned tomatoes has slid right off into a curl on the shelf. There's a gray bloom climbing the mortar between the stones, and when you put 2 fingers flat against the wall is sweating. Condensation pulling straight out of the warm summer air and settling on every cold surface down here. The same physics that fogs your bathroom mirror. You've run a fan down here. You've left the little window cracked. Last summer you spent $250 on an electric dehumidifier that hums all day and fills a tank you have to empty every morning, and your power bill went up anyway, and the wall is still wet. Here is the part nobody told you. A woman 2 ridges over, 81 years old, has a cellar cut into the same wet Kentucky hillside as yours. Right up in Appalachian country. Her shelves are dry, her labels are flat and clean, her potatoes keep till spring, and not 1 watt of electricity. You're about to learn how your great-grandparents kept a cellar bone dry all the way through the wettest mountain summer for the price of about $15 and 1 afternoon of work. I'm going to give you the actual number that matters, the one that decides whether a cellar molds or keeps, and its relative humidity below 55%. I'm going to tell you the year a company in this country decided you should pay every month for something your family used to do once. That year is 1955, and I'm going to walk you through the exact box you can build this weekend. By the end of this video, you'll know how to keep any cellar, any basement, any closed room dry for an entire year for under $15 with no tank to empty and no cord to plug in. Let me tell you about Hazel Sloan. Hazel is 81 years old. She lives at the head of a holler in Knott County, Kentucky, in the same house her father built when he came up off the coal tipple in the 1920s. Her father's name was Burl. Burl Sloan could not read much, but he could keep food through a winter without losing a jar, and in coal country in those years, that was a kind of wealth. Burl built Hazel a box. A plain wooden box with a screened lid, and he set it on the bottom shelf of the cellar, and he told her, "You keep this filled, girl, and the damp will go into the box instead of into your food." Hazel told me, word for word, "Daddy never paid $1 to keep that cellar dry, and neither have I. People come down my steps in August and they ask me what machine I'm running. I tell them I'm running my daddy's box, and it ain't never needed a plug." She learned it from Burl. Burl learned it from his own mother, who learned it back before the first power line ever reached that ridge, somewhere around the turn of the century. And Hazel is using that box right now today, as you're watching this. It's sitting on the bottom shelf of her cellar, pulling the wet out of the Kentucky air, the same as it has for 100 years. So why have you never heard of it? General Electric was not always in the business of selling you a machine to fix a problem you could fix for free. But by the years right after the Second World War, that is exactly the business it was in. When the soldiers came home and the country started building basements under every new house, those basements were wet. Concrete and stone sitting in the cool ground will always sweat when warm summer air rolls in over them. That's not a defect, that's just dew point. The same reason your glass of tea sweats on the porch. That moisture hitting a cold surface is condensation, plain and simple, and it has been happening since the first root cellar was ever dug. Now, for 100 years before that, country people handled cellar damp with 2 cheap things the earth gives you almost for free. The first is lime, quicklime, the same burned limestone farmers spread on a field. Quicklime, or calcium oxide, is so thirsty for water that it will pull moisture straight out of the air until it crumbles. That's moisture absorption happening at the chemical level. The second is hardwood charcoal, which is riddled with millions of tiny pores, and every one of those pores grabs water vapor and holds it. put the two together in a screen box and you've built a desiccant trap that quietly drinks the wet right out of a closed room. By about 1955, that was a problem for a company selling electric dehumidifiers. You cannot sell a $50 machine and the power to run it every single month to a woman who keeps a 15-cent box of lime on her bottom shelf. So the advertising changed. The old way got called dirty. It got called unsafe, old-fashioned, something your backward grandmother did. The new way, the modern way, the clean American way was a humming white box you plugged into the wall and paid for forever. It worked. Within a generation, almost nobody under the age of 50 knew you could dry a cellar with a box of lime and char. There had been a government bulletin years before, a plain Department of Agriculture pamphlet that told farm families exactly how to do it. After the machines came, that bulletin quietly stopped being reprinted. It didn't get banned, it just got allowed to disappear, which is quieter and works better. You're probably thinking you don't have a sack of quicklime sitting around. You might be right, but everything you need is $15 away at any hardware or farm supply store, and you can build the whole thing in an afternoon. First, get yourself a wooden or plastic box about the size of a milk crate and drill a few dozen holes in the lid, or cover the top with window screen. Air has to move through it. A sealed box does nothing. A simple vapor barrier underneath keeps the box itself from wicking moisture up off a concrete floor. Second, line the bottom with a layer of hardwood lump charcoal, not the briquettes soaked in lighter fluid, the plain hardwood lumps, about 3 inches deep. Third, set a wide, shallow metal pan on top of the charcoal and fill it with quicklime, which you'll find sold as a soil amendment for a few dollars a bag. A coffee can with the lid off works fine. Now, a quick word here, quicklime, calcium oxide, is not the same as the agricultural lime or dolomite lime you might scatter on a garden. That softer product is calcium carbonate, and it will not pull moisture out of air. You want the hot lime, the calcium oxide. When it finishes working and turns to a wet paste, what you're holding is slaked lime, calcium hydroxide, which is spent and ready to go back to the garden. One more note, wear gloves when you're handling fresh quicklime. It generates real heat when it contacts water, including the moisture on your skin. It's not dangerous if you're careful, but treat it with respect. The lime does the heavy pulling. The charcoal catches what's left and kills the musty smell. Now, for anyone wondering about modern alternatives, yes, you can buy bags of calcium chloride, the kind sold as driveway de-icer or in those commercial moisture absorber tubs, and it will also pull humidity out of a small space. Silica gel packets work on the same desiccant principle. Both are real options. But calcium chloride dissolves into a liquid as it works and needs a catch container, and silica gel is expensive at any meaningful quantity. Quicklime costs a fraction of either, is available at any farm supply, and serves double duty as a soil amendment when it's done. For a cellar or basement, it wins on every count. Fourth, set the whole box on the lowest shelf of your cellar because cool, damp air sinks, and that's where the water wants to collect. Ventilation matters too. Even a cracked window on the cool side of the house gives the drier night air a path in and lets the warmer, wetter daytime air cycle out. One box handles a small cellar. For a full basement, build 2 and put them in opposite corners. Fifth, check it. Hang a $2 hygrometer on the wall. When the lime has soaked up all it can hold, it turns to a wet paste and stops working, usually after a few weeks in the worst of summer. Scoop it out, spread it on your garden, where it does good, and refill the can. Hazel does hers on the 1st of the month, all summer, the way her father taught her. If your hygrometer reads below 55% and the stone wall is dry to the touch, you've got a working cellar, no tank, no cord, no bill. Now here's what nobody is telling you. That electric dehumidifier in your basement cost you around $250. It pulls enough power to add somewhere between $60 and $90 a year to your bill, running all summer. Over 20 years with the machine you'll replace once or twice when it quits, you are looking at somewhere north of $2,000 to keep one basement dry. Hazel Sloan has spent, across her entire 81 years, almost nothing. A bag of lime a summer. A sack of charcoal that lasts years. Call it $10 or $15 a year in a bad year. Her cellar has never molded. She has never lost a winter's food to the damp. She has never emptied a tank or paid a power company 1 cent for the privilege of dry air. There was a time not even that long ago when every house up these Appalachian hollers kept its food this way, and the knowledge passed from a mother to a daughter the way a recipe does, without anybody writing it down. It was normal. It was free. It was yours. The reason your parents don't know about this is not because the lime stopped working. The lime works exactly as well today as it did the day Burl Sloan packed his daughter's first box. Calcium oxide does not care what year it is. The mountain doesn't send you a bill. The lime still drinks the rain. The cellar is still cool and dark and waiting. If this saved you the price of a machine and a power bill you didn't need, do the next person who comes down their own wet cellar steps the same favor. Hit subscribe so this finds them too. Next time, I'll show you the $20 window a Pennsylvania glass company spent a fortune to make you forget. A single pane your great-grandfather built that heats a back room all winter on nothing but the afternoon sun. From all of us at Mountain Vault, stay dry and stay free.